Hello, hello. It's Pete Moriarty here. Thanks so much for joining the stream. Great to have you here. If you're watching the live, if you're watching the repeat, drop down a hashtag repeat and I will catch you soon. Now, my name is Pete Moriarty. If you don't know me or our channel, we help entrepreneurs systemize, organize, and scale using Google Workspace and a number of other technology tools. And in this video, I'm going to be answering a number of customer questions. And so we get customers that come through to our business every day of the week. And what I'm going to be covering in today's video is the kind of questions that we typically get from customers who come through to our sales team. And I'm going to be kind of like sharing some of the answers to those because we get a bunch of questions that come through over and over and over and over again. We've helped probably, I'd say, around 5,000 or 6,000 businesses over more than 13 years in operation. And so what I want to cover with you is, as much as possible, some of the most common ones that have come through. I just basically asked my team to give me a big long list of all the questions that have come through from customers lately. And I've picked out some of the ones that I think are the most pressing and most important. So if you're listening in or you're watching in live, drop down a comment in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. I would love to know. And if you want to ask your own question, then now is the time. You can drop that into the questions box, and whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, I'll be able to pick up and answer the question for you. But if you're live, thanks so much for joining live, and let's go ahead and jump in. So this customer asks, I need a way to link my CRM and Google Workspace so that I can have everything centralized and running smoothly. Currently, we use multiple services that some need to be used since I'm a part of a franchise. Okay, well, that's a pretty good question there. Now, let's talk a little bit about CRM systems. There's different levels to CRM systems. There are literally hundreds, if not thousands of them available for you to choose from. And a CRM just basically means your customer database. But the most important thing with the CRM is you want to actually make sure that you have inside your CRM effectively one source of truth for all of your customer data. And so that one source of truth is basically the one place where you want to keep as much as possible the relationship between you and your customer, or between your team and your customer. Now, many systems are designed for different industries. So you may have a customer management system or customer database that also does some workflow operations. But you also may have one that does a sales pipeline as its focus. But when I said there's different levels, what I also mean is there's different levels of sophistication with CRM systems as well. And so you can start with the real basic level, which would be probably not much better than a spreadsheet. And that would be something like, some of the plugins that like live inside your Gmail and just let you move through different stages of a sales process right from within your Gmail. And they probably don't have any automations or fancy integrations or anything like that, but it's just a way of you to kind of organize deals that you've got on the run. And then you've got like the tier 2, I call them, the next level, which maybe has a little bit of marketing automation. Maybe you can send emails from the system. Probably has deep levels of integrations between different apps. You can probably use something like Zapier to have data flowing in and out, and maybe it's got something like lead forms. And so that would be something like Infusionsoft or Hubspot or Copper CRM, and the kind of things where you can integrate them with the different parts of your business. And then level 3, which would be like the corporate or the enterprise tier systems, they include other things like financial management as well, and possibly even your full profit and loss is going to be running through those systems. So if we're talking about enterprise solutions, it might be something like SAP, it might be Salesforce.com, it might be NetSuite, and they're really designed to be like whole business systems that happen to also have a customer database included in there as well. So that would be your top tier CRM system. Okay, so if you're working with Google Workspace right now and you want to integrate a CRM system with Google Workspace, well, it's a good idea for you to actually, decide, choose, and focus on choosing a piece of technology that's going to work well with your Google Workspace application. Now, most of the people who are in our audience are small business owners. We specifically target businesses that have less than 100 employees. Many of our customers of itGenius have less than 20 employees, and some are even sole operators. And so what I would say is if you're looking to choose a CRM system for your business, You want to choose something that works right now. You also need something that's going to work in the future as well. But I would say that deep integration is probably one of the most important metrics for you for this to work well for your business. Now, the reason for that is it can be very frustrating to have to work with multiple different systems in a business because if you've got multiple different databases, if you've got multiple sources of truth in the business for your data, for where your customer information is stored, well, you can start to run into double handling very quickly. You find that you'll probably get less insights in the business because you don't have clean data for your reporting. But also you can start to run into mistakes when you're delegating things to your team because what happens is you don't have a centralized place for all of the information in the business and people end up doing things across multiple systems. So choosing something that is deeply integrated with Google Workspace is probably one of the best options. And our strong recommendation is to work with Copper CRM for your CRM system if you're heavy into relationship-based management in your business. Now, there's plenty of other options if you've got a different kind of business, but if you want to really get great at managing relationships in your business and your deal flow and your reporting and your analytics are really important to you as well, Copper CRM is a great choice. And that's why we've chosen to be global partners for Copper. And our team can help you out implementing that, especially if you want to get it nicely integrated into the Workspace ecosystem. Now, what's so great about Copper? Well, when they started, and this is a tier 2 CRM, by the way, so it sits kind of in the middle where it's simple and easy enough for the team to use and it doesn't take $100,000 to implement it, but it's got enough features and performance for you to run, grow, and scale a successful business out of the small business kind of realm and into the growth company realm based on this app. One of the things that we really love about it is when it was first built, it was actually designed to be as deeply integrated with Google Workspace as possible. When it was first created, it was called ProsperWorks, and they basically wanted to be the CRM for Google Workspace. And so it even looked like Google down to that level. There was an obsession within that company of as much as possible getting Copper CRM to work deeply with all of Google's ecosystem. And so you'll find it's a very deeply integrated experience. Okay, let's move on to our next question here. So we have a question from a customer, and it is, I'd like to speak to someone about LastPass and also whether or not you have a ticketing system for emails and how they can be better managed. Could you direct me to someone who can help with this? So there's two things that it's probably a good idea to cover in here. Let's talk a little bit about LastPass first. Now, if you're not already using LastPass right now, LastPass is a great way to increase the security of your small business. What LastPass does is it is a secure storage vault for your passwords inside your business. So rather than saving them just in your browser, like in Mac, on a Mac, you would use Safari, or if you're using Google Chrome also has a password security option as well. But what LastPass does is it allows you to actually create a randomized password for each website that you use, and it's going to save it inside your LastPass vault. That's the primary reason that LastPass exists, so you don't reuse your passwords across different websites. It also has additional layers of encryption that go above and beyond what you get in both Safari and Chrome to actually secure your passwords, which is a great way of making sure that they're extra secure. But that's not the best feature. The best feature is how you can actually share and collaborate safely with passwords with your team. And so LastPass allows you to actually share passwords either individually or in shared folders with security permissions according to how you'd like to share it with different people in your business. And what that allows your team to do is actually sign into a website that's been delegated to them without having to actually know the password and without being revealed the password. And so your team will be able to actually visit a website, log into the website using your login without actually being exposed to the password. Now, it's not a 100% foolproof system. Someone could log into a website that you're using, like maybe canva.com, and go in there and change the email address associated with it, or maybe change the password even if they wanted to. So it doesn't completely stop someone from gaining access to a system and removing your access to that system. But what it does do is it stops your team from being lazy with their passwords and introducing basically a clear risk into the business if you are not having clear hygiene with your password management. For example, what do most people do? they will have a Google spreadsheet and they will call it passwords or credentials, and all of the shared passwords that they want to share with their team, they'll put that on that Google sheet and they'll share that with a couple of employees. Now, the problem with that is that each employee that is a part of the business is probably still going to have access to that no matter what level in the business that they're in. And all of a sudden, all it takes is for one person to leave that signed in on the wrong computer, and someone's got access to your whole business of passwords. Or someone could potentially make a copy of that and disappear with all of those passwords. Now, LastPass prevents that because it's randomizing all of your passwords. They're stored in the vault. The mechanism for accessing the passwords means that your team can't access them one by one, and they can't reveal the actual password one by one either. And so it makes things a lot easier and a lot safer for your business. So don't make the mistake of putting all your passwords in, one Google contact card or one Google Keep Note or one Google spreadsheet. Put them into LastPass. And if you're interested in that, then itGenius can help roll it out. We have discounts available for businesses, and we also give away some free licenses to our customers as well. Now, the second part of this customer's question is there a ticketing system for emails, and how can that be better managed? Now, we run an IT business. We've been helping customers out with their technology for a very long time. And 15 odd years ago, when I started this business, when I was still in high school, what we used to do then is we had a ticketing system that customers would have to email in, and they would get a ticket number. And once they had a ticket number, we could email back and forward. And as long as that ticket number stayed in the subject, then we would be able to keep track of all the jobs. Now, our customer service and our business landscape has really transformed over the last 15 years. And we're now in the situation where pretty much everyone who's doing customer support at any kind of scale is using a ticketing or customer service system of some sort. And I think this is a great way for small business owners to take off the technician hat and actually pass that on to their staff so that your team can get more done and you as the business owner aren't getting bogged down in the delivery of your business. And so using a customer service delivery system, you could call it a ticketing system, or you could just call it a customer service system, is a great way for you to be able to get more done in your business. And we strongly recommend that you implement. Now, the system that we have partnered with for our customers is called Hiver, and that actually deeply integrates with the Google Workspace ecosystem. It also integrates really nicely with other areas of the business as well. And so using Hiver allows you to get analytics on how quickly your team are responding to customers. It gives customers the option to give you a customer service rating, a thumbs up or a thumbs down on how you're going with the business. It also means that you're able to connect your customers to your team without you being the bottleneck. And that's one of the biggest challenges for small business owners who want to grow their business, is getting customer requests out of their bucket and getting them straight to your team. Now, if you take inspiration from a tech business like us and you use a shared mailbox like help@yourcompany.com or support@yourcompany.com, or maybe even sales@yourcompany.com, well, what you can do then is you can have each one of your customers trained to email that group mailbox instead of emailing you. And I'm talking specifically to business owners who have got less than 5 employees and they're still probably doing most of the sales for new customers coming in. Who are new customers going to email when they want work done? They're probably going to email you. And so training your customers to access a centralized mailbox instead of emailing you directly means your customers are going to get a much better experience. And it means that your team are going to be able to do the work that they're actually employed to do, which is looking after your customers, no matter what way you're delivering. Now, whether you're a service business or maybe a products business, you can make use of this for your customer service, but we also make use of this for our sales team as well. So sales@itgenius.com, which I think redirects to our main mailbox, which is hello@itgenius.com. That actually has a Hiver mailbox attached to it. It appears in everybody's Gmail, so everyone can see what they're working on right from their main Gmail. They can check their own emails as well as manage the group mailbox emails as well. And anytime they send an email back to a customer, it comes from hello@itgenius.com. So it's all coming from the shared mailbox. And it's got all the other features that you would expect from a ticketing system, like service level agreements and KPIs and assigning a ticket to someone. And you can put internal notes on a ticket if you don't want the customer to see. But one of the things that I really love about Hiver is you don't have to have ticket numbers in the subject of emails anymore. They do all this clever tracking stuff, and the emails just automatically come right into the right mailbox. And what that means is it's a ticketing system that doesn't look like a ticketing system to your customers. And we really love that because it means that we can deliver great customer support, but our customers don't feel like they've picked up a ticket and they're waiting at the deli in a meat line. And I really love that feature. Okay. We have a question from Gavin here. Gavin, thank you for joining us live. Is there any way to use Google Sign In on Windows 10 Home? I don't know. I would say unlikely. There are a number of different options for using Google Sign In. Some are third party, some are direct, but I've got a feeling that might not be possible on a home edition of Windows. But that's something I would say have a chat to our team and let them confirm 100% for that, or I'll come back and answer that in the comments of this video. Okay, we have a question here from Graham Taylor. Thanks very much for joining. Would love to see Merit in a detailed breakdown of features and benefits of Chrome OS Enterprise for SMEs, considering the annual cost. Thanks, Graham. I will happily cover that for you in an upcoming video with a bit more detail. But let me share a couple of thoughts that I have about the benefits of Chrome OS device management in small businesses. So Chrome OS is the operating system that runs on Chromebooks and Chromeboxes. I happen to be broadcasting from a Chromebox here at the moment. I can switch and show you what that looks like. It's going to look a bit weird as it goes into Timbuktu with my screens. But Chrome OS is a new lightweight operating system from Google, and that allows you to get a lot of work done, and it couples really nicely with the Google Workspace ecosystem. Now, some of the advantages of paying for a paid device license for Google Chrome OS is that it actually allows you to deliver policies to those devices from Google Workspace. And so those policies may be security policies to lock down a particular device and the way that someone can access a particular device. It may be a backup policy so that any downloads that your staff make on the device, you want them automatically put into Google Drive. And so if something happens and the device needs to be wiped, there's no chance of your team losing any data. You could also have cosmetic features, like, for example, changing the background on the computers, or doing something useful for productivity, like deploying a set of bookmarks down to individuals' Chrome profiles. But the device features really open up when you have non-standard use cases for your devices. So some of those, for example, may be if you have a shop front and you want to have a signage display and you want to use Google Chrome devices for a signage display, you can actually deploy automatic, like signage features like videos and interactive displays if you've got something interactive, or maybe even a interactive kiosk. They can all be deployed remotely, they're cloud updated, and they're cloud managed as well. But maybe, for example, you have a school and you have shared computers in one particular area. Maybe you want a timeout on particular sessions, or maybe you want people to be able to log in and create a new session using their Gmail account or using a Google Workspace account. But when they log off, you want to delete all of their data from that device. Any policies like that you want to deploy to Google Chrome need to have a Chrome device license. And with that Chrome device license comes all of those additional features. But I will cover those in more depth in another video at some point in the future. Thanks very much for that question, Graham. Okay, so we have a customer here interested in Asana Premium. And I will run through a couple of the reasons why you may be interested in upgrading to Asana Premium. Now, we've put Asana in probably about 500 businesses at this point. It is an amazing application built by some ex-Facebookers, and it's really designed to help you get more done by sharing tasks and projects with your teams. Now, some of the premium features available in the premium version of Asana are better reporting and analytics, a better management of projects using their portfolios feature. One of the ones that I really love is using things like task dependencies, task approvals. So anytime that I'm working on a piece of content and my team are editing and they need to send it back to me for approval, they will use the approvals feature for that. You can also add custom fields into Asana, which is really great. And so, for example, we have a pretty big content library of all of the content that we create. And we actually add all of this into a master file inside Asana. And so if I open up my Asana here, you can see here that I've got all of our content stored inside one area of Asana. But we have lots of different custom fields that have actually been created here for things like noting which Google Drive folder the content is. We have the content title. We have the dates where things are published. And you can see based on the different types of content, we've got lots of customized fields there as well. One of the other things that usually people get stuck with is if you put too many people into your Asana, you're going to eventually run out of the free licenses. The limit is, I think, from memory, about 15 people per team on the free version. Having the paid version obviously gives you access to more user accounts as well. But lots of great features in Asana Premium. I also have some other videos on Asana on our channel. So if you search a channel for Asana, you'll be able to check out some of the other features in Asana Premium. We have a question here from another customer, very basic question. Systems need to be put in place, but I included this one here because I wanted to have a little bit of a chat about when and how you should be creating systems inside your business. Now, if you haven't already read the Bible on systems, it's called the E-Myth Revisited, and that's by someone called Michael Gerber. And that's basically the book and the resource on helping entrepreneurs achieve freedom. That helps you go from being the technician to being the manager and then being the entrepreneur. It is the journey that all us entrepreneurs must take for business success. And hopefully one day you get to the point like myself, where as the founder of the business, you can step away from the operations of the business and just focus 100% of your time on your purpose work. For me, my purpose work is supporting small business owners to play a bigger game. And so I spend as much time as possible creating content and creating more impact in the business that we have. But let's talk about systems inside your business. How do you actually go about creating systems, and when is a good time to create systems? Now, we help businesses navigate what we call the growth roadmap. And if you search our channel for growth roadmap, you'll find that it's a video on the different stages that businesses go through and what kind of technology that you need to have implemented at each different stage of your business. But that growth roadmap is not just about technology. It's also about business stages and management stages for the entrepreneur as well. As you step through each stage of business growth from 1 employee to 3 to 5 to 10 to 15 to 20, you're going to have different challenges that you have in the areas of culture, in the areas of management and leadership, in the areas of actually delivering your product or service as well to your customers. And as you go through those different stages of challenge, what you're going to find is that you're going to have to grow and evolve over time. But there's a lot of things that still need to be done on a repeated basis, day in, day out inside the business. And that's where systems come in. It is your job as the entrepreneur in the business to actually create great business systems that are then able to be repeated by others in the business. And I'd say that's probably the number one thing that you need to make sure that you get right anytime you are interested in growing or scaling a business. It's that skill of delegating and taking hats off and giving them to other people. And you're just going to find over the years, you're just going to be taking hats off, 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 constantly. And that is how you grow an organization. So we recommend that you document your business systems. And for that, why not use a tool inside Google Workspace? We love using Google Sites for that. And so we've built an intranet inside Google Sites. Our one we happen to call the Genius Net. And inside the Genius Net is where we store all of our systems and processes for the business. And so the Genius Net is the one place where we'll store instructions on someone who has joined the business and how they actually need to operate in the kind of work that they're doing. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and find a particular process here, show you an example, how to add a subdomain in our billing system. You can see here that we've got instructions and we've got screenshots. And this is basically our way of documenting how things are done inside the business. So when we hire or bring on somebody new, then we've got a way to train them. Now, I've got other videos on Google Sites in our channel. If you search that, and we've even got some resources on how to write really great business systems. It's called the System for Creating Systems, because we want to make sure we have that. But all business owners should really work on the skill of creating great business systems, because that is the way to freedom as an entrepreneur. It's basically like getting things off your plate every day of the week and getting them onto the plate of others. I've also got a great video on the channel about valuing your time as an entrepreneur. When you value your time, that will help you to move those things off your plate by taking the hats off, by highlighting to you what are the lowest value tasks that you're doing right now, and which ones can you then pass on to team members. Entrepreneurship is all about a game of you sticking to high value tasks and giving others lower value tasks for your time so that you can stay in your genius zone. That's probably business 101 in growing a scalable, successful business. Okay, we've got a question here from Rick. Thanks so much for joining. Is the Pixelbook Go a good college laptop for coding? Great question. Rick, I would say it depends what kind of coding environment that you're using, and it depends what development tools you would like to use as well. If you're developing for the Mac, you're going to need to use Xcode. I'm not sure if it's even still called that these days, but Apple's development kit, and that's obviously only going to work on a Mac machine. Many of Google's tools will actually run in online environments, and using a Chromebook, you also have the ability to use a Linux shell. So you can actually install a Linux shell on Chromebooks, and any Chrome machine will be able to do that. But I'm not 100% sure on whether or not it's going to meet all of the breadth and depth of the tools that you want to use. So what I would recommend is probably check out some other creators on YouTube about specifically coding in Chrome OS. It's not my particular area of expertise. I'm more of an integrator and less of a development background, but I hope you find the answer that you're looking for there. Okay, do we have time for one more question? Cool. Rick, I'm familiar with the Python language. In that I know it's a language, but I don't know what tools would be required. So that's probably one for our devs to answer. Cool. All right. I've got 1 minute, but I've got one more question here that I can take care of. Gavin asks, how do you use Chrome Remote Desktop on a Chromebook? Excellent question, Gavin. If you literally Google those words, Chrome Remote Desktop, there is a Chrome plugin called Remote Desktop. And the Chrome Remote Desktop allows you to access other computers via Google Chrome. And so it's actually accessed at remotedesktop.google.com. There's a little plugin to install on your Chrome device. And you can see here, I've automatically registered my Mac, which is upstairs, to be registered inside my Chrome account. And then I can just jump into Chrome with one click. I go ahead and punch in the code there, which I'm not going to do just in case it shows the characters briefly, but that gives me access to my machine from my Chrome box here, and vice versa. It works the other way as well. Now, you can use Chrome Remote Desktop for remote support for multiple people if you need to, or if you just want to use it as like as a one-time. It also works great as a one-time as well. And so plenty of options there for you to use Chrome Remote Desktop from a Chrome box, or even accessing a Chrome device is also available as well. All right, let me know any additional questions. Unfortunately, this is all the time we have for today, but I'll be doing more of these live streams soon. Thank you so much for joining. If you joined on the live, if you're watching the repeat, thanks so much for joining the repeat as well. And I look forward to seeing you soon. If you are new around here, we help entrepreneurs systemize, organize, and scale their business using Google Workspace and a suite of best practice technology tools. If you're interested in getting your business scaled and successful, check out the rest of our channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like this comment. Drop a comment below and let me know if you loved it. If you want to connect with me on social media, there are links below each one of our videos and on our profile page. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you're a Google Workspace customer and you're not yet doing business with us, click on that link below the video, look for our transfer in offer, and we've got more information on that page. But until next time, adios, and we will see you soon. If you're on the live, thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next one.